Okay, we're going to try this again.
Yes.
All right, counting us in. 3, 2, 1. Kia ora. We're back again. We're going to try this for another week. So we thought today we would talk about the mashup sweater. Yay! Which Claire's not wearing because she's just been working in the sun, so she's too hot.
Which is why I'm all red. Really hot.
So I'm wearing mine. Hopefully I won't have to strip off halfway through the show. But
that brings in a whole new viewership.
Yeah, okay. I don't think we really want to go there. But yeah, we thought we would have a chat about this and kind of. Sorry, that's Claire's phone making noises. We're both like, what the?
Random noise. No idea what that means.
Yeah. We always have multiple alarms going off. So we kind of figured out that what happened last week was that why we lost the end of the filming was that my alarm went off on my phone, which to remind me to check the VAT, and we didn't realise that it actually turned the video off at the time. So never mind. Anyway, let's just carry on with the show. We're going to talk to you about the mashups. Well, here's me crashing the microphone again. Talk to you about the mashup sweater, which I am wearing. A lot of you will have seen it already on our social media. But pretty much how the mashup sweater came about was I decided that I should get on the bandwagon and knit my very first petite knits pattern. That was a choice.
It was my first too.
Yes. So anyway, we thought we would give it a go. We know she's a super popular designer. She designs very lovely things. To be honest, not normally my jam because her things seem to be very kind of elegant and refined, and no one in their life has ever referred to me as elegant and refined. So I'm just not that kind of knitter or that kind of dresser or that kind of person. So therefore I had not knit any of her patterns before, but I thought since she was so popular, I would give it a whirl. Now, I decided to try doing a bit of a chunky pattern and holding rebel worsted held double because I thought maybe that would be fun. And so that was a very good theory, and I picked the Louisiana sweater to start off. Except when I actually printed out the pattern and started to knit it, I was like, what? Why are there no short rows in this pattern? I'm going to have to put short rows in. And then it's like, it's got these lovely kind of, balloon sleeves. Balloon sleeves are not even remotely practical for working in the dye house.
Yep.
So...
Unless you want to be wet from the elbows down.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yep.
Yes. Or tangled up in things.
And
everything.
this was definitely something that I thought I would wear in the dye house because that's where I normally am. So pretty much everything I knit gets worn here. I am not precious about my knitwear. And although, to be fair, if I'm mixing dye, I will often take my jersey off just so that I don't accidentally splash myself because I can be a klutz. But other than that, I generally am just wearing whatever I've knitted in the dye house, so it doesn't get special treatment.
She is wearing layers when she does that. I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
stripped to the waist.
Yeah.
Painting ourselves blue. That's not happening.
No.
Nobody needs to see that.
No. You're turning this into a completely different show, Claire. So
You're the one stripping off.
Not that kind of stripping. So anyway, so I decided to try and knit this pattern, printed out Louisiana, started knitting it, and then pretty much changed the entire pattern.
That never happens.
Well,
She's really good at following patterns. She doesn't change them at all.
This is why I don't generally test knit, is because I do on occasion more often than likely go off on my own tangent.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to knit this Louisiana, change the entire pattern. I'm the person who always prints out their patterns, and that's because I write all over them as I go. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of when I went back to knit the second one, because I was like, hey, first time ever I've knitted a whole jersey in a week. This is super exciting. I really want a second one. It's going to be nice to wear while we're working. The fabric it creates with Rebel Worsted Held Double is very light, very stretchy. It actually breathes a lot because it's not a super tight gauge. So I was like, hey, this is fantastic. I'll knit another one. And 2 sweaters in 2 weeks. That'll be fabulous. But then when I went back to look at my notes, I suddenly realized that my notes were completely different to the actual pattern. So if I wanted to knit this again, following the Louisiana sweater instructions wasn't really going to work. So I ended up rewriting all of my notes into a pattern that is hopefully readable. Claire can tell you whether it is or not because she knitted from my notes.
Sort of. I suffer from the same affliction. It's like recipes. I can't follow a recipe. I get partway through and I think, oh, you don't want to put that in. That sounds silly. Oh, what are they doing there? What are they thinking? No, I can do it better. And I did the same thing with the pattern. I did the Louisiana the first time round as well. Only I also changed everything. I also added short rows because I thought, what's she smoking? Why isn't there short rows? I don't want my neck halfway down my back. I have a hump. I'm old.
Well, also, I didn't realize when I bought the pattern, she's designed it for like beginners. Yeah, which is why I'm assuming why there's no short rows and things in it.
We would have known that if we'd read the instructions properly.
Hey, look, I just,
What did we do? Just wing it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to know the obvious things. So I knit mine, and I also added short rows. And then I changed things like the neck, and I mostly did it as a raglan. Things went a little bit wonky. Things went a little bit wonky around the armholes, but that's not unusual. And then when I knit my second one, I test knit Deb's pattern, where she had changed everything about it. Only that one I knit with black yarn in poor lighting without my glasses, and things went catastrophically wrong, and it was a little bit bitey around the arms. But
I believe that's Claire's knitting, not my pattern writing
totally
skills.
Not. The pattern was fine. I even went through and added up all the numbers in the pattern to make sure it worked out mathematically, which it did, which was lovely.
Very surprising.
Yeah. It would have been even more surprising if I'd followed it exactly and got the same numbers. I didn't, but it still worked out fine. Raglans, top-down raglans are hard to get wrong. You basically keep going until it's big enough. But the numbers, following the numbers, meant you knew when you were there. Because when it's all sitting there in your lap and you're doing a circular pattern, and especially 2 strands of worsted held double, and you're on a big 9mm needle, and you're cranking through this thing, it looks like a giant yarn jellyfish in your lap. And you think, dear God, will it never end? It's huge. And then all of a sudden, oh, I finished. That's really quick. Wow. And counting the numbers would have made the whole thing a lot simpler. So my recommendation for the week is wear your glasses while you're knitting. Perhaps turn the light on.
That might help, especially if you're knitting with drift into that void. Yep.
Which I was.
Yeah. So anyway, so we so I knitted a second one. Helen knitted one. Claire knitted a second one. Helen had to stop knitting her second one because then we decided that we were going to take these as kits to Woolfest, which we did. So Helen, bless her heart, stopped knitting her second one to make all of these swatches, which we'll show you in a second. But I also ended up knitting 2 more. So I have knit now 4 of them in total, 3 in 3 weeks, because I knit one for me. Then I knit, to test my pattern, I knit a smaller one that would fit the kid. And I also knit a larger one that fits my husband. So the only thing different from the pattern to what I knitted for them is that I had to add, 5-10 inches of length to everything because both of them, well, Malcolm is 6'3" and the child is also nearly 6 foot. So yeah, there was a lot of extra length involved with those ones. If you saw the samples at the show and if you tried them on, that was a lot more length.
Worth keeping in mind when you're picking your husbands, by the way.
Yes.
Pick ones with, short arms and small heads. Word of advice.
So this was the original swatch that Helen did, because did I swatch for the project? No.
Helen did it for us.
Helen did it for us.
Helen did it over and over and over again. We did think we were going to have to stage an intervention at one point.
But the great thing is that our gauge was actually the same as Helen's, so that worked out well. And this was the original swatch, which was just done in Original Sin. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I've got it actually in front of the camera, which I think I have. So this is two strands of Rebel worsted held double 9mm needle. The gauge is a lovely gauge. I think Louisiana is actually 10 stitches per 10 centimetres. This actually turns out to be 11 stitches per 10 centimetres, so very close. One thing to remember if you are knitting on a great big gauge like that and great big needles, that even that 1 stitch difference does make a difference though. Like it will make a significant difference to the size of anything that you are knitting. So just, do as I say, not as I do. Make your swatch, make sure you're getting correct measurements. Although, look, to be fair, what I decided when I was knitting this, which is pretty much what I decide with everything when I start knitting and I haven't swatched, is that if I knit it and it's not going to fit because my gauge is wrong, I'll just rip it out and start again.
I just lose a few stitches or add a few, often in the armpits.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking in your armpit.
Yeah, like I'm not scared to frog. So, if you don't want to swatch, that's totally fine. And to be fair, frogging this and reknitting it does not take long, and I can attest to that because I accidentally knitted one of the sleeves on the kids' jersey on an 8mm needle instead of a 9. I forgot to change my rib needle. And then I just, when I realised, ripped it out. And
I'm impressed that you realised.
Well, when you get to the bottom and you go to change to the rib needle and then you go, crap, and you just realise that you've knitted an entire sleeve on a rib needle. So I'd
have left it.
I'd already done the other sleeve, so I ripped it out and just reknitted it. Like, it took an evening. Like, it honestly is that fast. I am not a fast knitter. I know a lot of people think I must be, but I'm not. I'm a very old style English thrower. I'm very slow, but I knit 3 of these in 3 weeks, literally 1 week for a jersey. So that's the fantastic fun thing about it. Now I'm just trying to see if you can see this fabric, because I need to explain something to you about the sizing and the pattern. Oh yeah, you can. Yep, you can see. Yep, you can see Claire's hand in behind there. So when you knit double, well, specifically, I'm talking specifically about Rebel worsted. Okay, we're not talking about mohair or any of that nonsense. Sorry, we are not mohair lovers here.
It's the texture. I just can't cope with the texture. It's like microfiber. Oh, I can't bear microfiber.
Look, I'm old and I did mohair in the 80s and I really don't feel the need to do it again. So I'm not here for the nonsense of holding everything double with mohair. Now, if you love it, please go ahead and knit to your heart's content with all the mohair that you want. It's not my jam. I'm not going to pretend it's my jam. So this is why Outlaw Yarn does not produce mohair and will never produce mohair, because I don't like it. If I don't like it, we don't sell it. So there we go.
Fair enough.
That's the way it goes. Right. So when I'm talking about this, I'm specifically talking about Rebel worsted held double. I'm not talking about any other yarn held double. Okay. So this is what we've discovered with this. So what it's creating on the 9mm needle is a very light, very stretchy fabric. Now you need to know this for when you're picking the size of your pattern. If you want to do, if you're going to use my pattern, or if you are going to use the Louisiana, the petite knits pattern, you may want to know this information to do it with Rebel worsted. So it is a very light, very, very stretchy fabric. So you will possibly want to choose a pattern size that is smaller than what you think. Even if you want some ease, Helen and Claire, like both of you originally knit a size bigger than what I did with the Louisiana.
I could definitely have gone down a size. And I got a 120-inch bust. Centimetre.
There's
a lot below the camera line.
Yeah.
It's 120 centimetres.
Yeah, and I was just doing the measurements because when I did the measurements for the mashup sweater, I wrote in 3 sizes only. Okay, I'm not doing 10 sizes. I am not a pattern designer. I don't have time to do all the grading, all the things that you need to do to make to design a proper pattern. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm busy making yarn. So Deb's mashup version is basically a rewritten pattern with all the modifications I did. Okay, so it's the full instructions, but it's all the modifications I made. And it's only in 3 sizes because it's a very, very basic top-down raglan. You can work this out for yourself.
There's a lot of stretch. By the time you've done the whole thing, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
The other thing to bear in mind is if you do want it a size bigger, and you know you're going to get it a size bigger, just keep doing raglan increases until it's the width that you want in the body.
Yeah.
So and then decrease it faster under the arms.
Yeah, that's pretty much the thing. So the pattern patterns that I wrote, there is my size, which is size 2. I decided not to call them mediums and larges and all that kind of thing because I thought it was probably going to be misleading. So size 2 is what I'm wearing, which technically, if you want to do the maths on it, works out to be 104 centimetres. I'm not 104 centimetres, okay? So what I'm suggesting...
I can wear it, and I'm, like I said, I'm 120 on the full bust.
Yes, I was going to say, I think my boobs are bigger than yours, so...
Judgy. Oh, I think we have a courier.
Oh no, it's... Okay, sorry, we have to stop. One moment. Okay, we're back into it. Sorry about that. We got interrupted... just with Lee bringing in some parts for the vat. We're going to show you more about the vat next week. The install has started, but anyway, back to the mashup sweater. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Where were we? You were talking about gauge.
I was talking about the gauge. Was I talking about the gauge? Yeah. So just saying that a little bit of difference makes a lot. Yep, so just to be careful about that. But yeah, because this fabric is super stretchy and very light, it's not although I'm about to say it's not necessarily as warm as you think it is. I'm sitting here going like this, but that's because the sun's out and it's actually warmed up heaps in here, and so now I'm getting really hot in my jersey. But I should have taken it off while we were having a break. But anyway,
I have to say, I wouldn't recommend doing this jumper in a different yarn, holding it double, if it was a worsted spun yarn, which is more dense. Not only would the yarn be a lot heavier, but it would be a lot warmer, which is great if you live in Iceland or somewhere really freezing. But it really keeps you warm because you've got the woolen spun yarn and you've got those 2 strands together held double. The fabric is thicker, but it's light because it's woolen spun. It's keeping a lot of air in there. It's like wearing a duvet. It's really lovely and warm and comfortable. But because it's so stretchy, it doesn't feel like you're armoured.
Yeah, and also it breathes a lot. I think because of the the looser gauge, it does actually breathe quite a lot.
Yes.
So you're not, apart from now when I'm wearing it in the sun, we're not generally overheating when we're wearing them in here. Helen has been wearing hers all the time when it's been cold. I've been wearing mine most of the time because most of the time mine's been in the showroom. But it's it definitely isn't necessarily as warm as you think. I think that the other jersey I'm knitting at the moment that is a full colour work Rebel worsted is actually going to be way warmer than this one because the gauge is tighter, therefore there's less gaps in between. So it's, while this keeps you warm, I think my stranded one is actually going to be warmer. But we will test that theory when it happens. Right, so
onto the fun stuff.
Let's talk about the colours and things. So I decided, and then we all decided we were going to do mild sweaters because
if you're holding 2 strands, why not have fun with it?
Yeah, exactly. Like you could just do it in a solid colour like this, so 2 strands of one colour. But
valid, nice, pretty, looks lovely. You can see all the stitches. It's nice. It's not fuzzy like it would be with mohair or something.
Yes.
So you can see the stitches. It's pretty.
Yes. But I always knit things faster when they're multicoloured. And it turns out males work for that as well. So we have done well, Helen has done loads and loads of mailed swatches.
She loves her a swatch.
With all different colour combinations. Now, I have to warn you, these are super hard to photograph because they actually come out kind of more contrasty than they really are. And so I have photographed them, and hopefully by the time you see this, I will have a section up on the website so that you can look at all the different combinations that we've got. But yeah, just be aware that they are potentially a little more contrasty in the photo than they are actually in person.
Yeah.
But the fun thing about mails is you can go as wild.
Precious Heart and postcards. So that's purple and green together.
Yeah, or as subtle as you want to. If you've seen the photos that I did of our family sweaters, every one of those had the same colour in them, which was I'm Not Lost. And then the kids had Curious Feeling with it. I've got Cyclops Fish, and Bloke had I Need a Learjet with I'm Not Lost. And you get 3 completely different colours just by changing one of them. So yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, what you need to knit the sweater is 3 skeins of Rebel worsted in each colour. And even if you're knitting the smaller size, I'm going to say go with the 3 skeins of each colour. Our lovely customer Rachel has she actually knitted the Louisiana version. She ended up having to come and get 1 more skein of each colour because she broke into that. So yeah, definitely, and especially if you're adjusting for length or anything like that, because the other thing too to remember when you're holding something double is it does really affect how much yarn you use. Yeah. It's very difficult to work out exactly how much yarn you need for something when you're holding it double, because even a subtle increase or decrease in your gauge massively changes the amount of yardage that you need, or meterage. So it's really, I decided 3 skeins of each would be totally fine for the patterns. Now, when I knitted Bloke's one, I did break into a 4th on both the colours, but the only reason for that is that he's 6'3". Okay, so if you are not 6'3", or knitting it for someone who is 6'3", then you'll be totally fine with 3 of each on the largest size of the pattern that I knitted. And how do you get the pattern? This is what you were going to ask me. So you need to go onto our website, you need to order 6 skeins of Rebel worsted, and in the comments you need to put mashup or sweater pattern please, or something nice, and then Helen will send it out to you and include the pattern. No, I'm not putting it on Ravelry because it's not been tested with anything else. I don't know if it would work with anything else. I do not need the headaches. I do not need 50 people telling me that I'm not being size inclusive. It's not that kind of pattern. Like, this is genuinely almost a recipe.
It's designed for this yarn.
Yeah, it's designed for this yarn and this specific thing. Yeah. Like,
do it in a superwash, it's going to reach your knees.
Yeah. That would be fun. Yeah. I did have to unfortunately advise, not a customer of ours, but I did have to advise a poor newbie knitter the other day who had knitted a beautiful colourwork sweater in superwash, then couldn't understand why it grew to her knees. She really had actually just chosen the wrong yarn for the project, and that was...
To be fair, it happens to experienced knitters too. I'm about to frog a cardigan. I did the same thing, and I used a merino and silk mix that I bought from somebody at a yarn fest. Beautiful yarn, but it's heavy. It's a worsted spun, and I did it raglan style because I thought I'm going to do it all in one and cast it on and knit it till it's long enough, and I did. But of course, every time I wear it, the weight of it all pulls it down, and the thing got longer and longer and longer. And now it looks like I'm wearing a sack. So it's going to get frogged and it's going to get reknit into something else because it's beautiful yarn.
I'm just showing you off.
And I've been knitting forever. I started when I was 6 or 7, so 50 years.
Yeah.
So I screw up all the time.
Yep. We all make mistakes with our knitting, and that's part of learning. And I mean, this is kind of the fun sort of doing this too was basically for me, this was just an experiment. I just wanted to see what would happen if we do this. What would happen if we held rebel worsted double? What would happen if we play with male colours? What would happen? So this is very much the way I knit, is what would happen if?
The answer to which is usually everybody gets very excited and Helen swatches.
yeah. Helen really enjoyed these swatches, but yeah, I think the fun things I learnt from this experiment was particularly like with the marling and things like this, is that you can go as crazy as you want to with the colours or as subtle as you want to with the colours, and both are valid and both are beautiful. So that was a fun thing to learn, because I've done some marling, but not, honestly, I haven't done much for a long time. So yeah, it was fun, a fun way to play with the colours that we already have. And what was the other things I learned from doing this? I don't normally knit. I actually don't normally wear or knit raglans, so that was fun. Trying to make a raglan that would fit me. But I think just giving it a go. Like I say, the large gauge, being able to knit it in a week, rip it back if it doesn't work, adjust the sizes. Like if you want something that's in between the two sizes I've got, just do one less or one more of the raglan increases. That's pretty much what Helen's doing, because she wanted one that's got a little more ease than my one. So the first and second one she's knitting, she's done one more raglan increase than I've done. And because that one stitch makes such a big difference on because of the gauge, that's all she needed to do was one more increase. Yeah.
I think what I learned from it was wear your glasses when you're knitting. Learn to count. That's a bonus. Also, be a bit more crazy with my colour choices, because I like the crazier colour choices, to be honest. Oh,
yep.
That's my alarm going off for the bat. Ignore that.
We might have to stop it because they're going to...
I'm going to just go stop it.
Yeah.
It will go on forever.
So this is what happened last week, was that the alarm went off for the bat, and then that killed the video. Oh, and now Mr. Whippy's going past.
We do.
Okay. All right. We're going to have to wrap this up because, we're not going to get any more said this week. So catch up with us again next week. Thanks for being here. And is that all we need to say?
That's about it, really. Yeah.
Okay.
Knit a mashup jumper. It's instant gratification.
Yes.
We all want a quick win.
Yeah, instant gratification knitting. Because this is the other thing, is that I don't ever knit small projects.
No.
So this was a way for me to get instant gratification with a big project, and I like that.
Usually when I get to the end of doing a jumper, I've done something, I usually knit in like Rebel Light and stuff like that, to quite small yarn, small needles, and I'm sick to death of it by the time I get to the end. I don't want to even see it again, and I have to put it away because I look at it and I think, ugh. It's just because I can remember it, struggling through it and getting to that feeling of I've had enough. This is over so quick. It's like eating chocolate for breakfast. It feels sinful.
Oh, actually, there we are. There's the other thing I should tell you about it, because I knit this for a teenager. She wore it out with her friends.
Steady.
I know. That's what. So she wasn't even just pretending she liked it. She actually wore it out when she went out with her friends the other night. So there we go. I'm taking that as a win. And my husband's barely taken his off. So
yeah. I thought when I knit it, I thought held double, it's going to weigh an absolute ton. It's going to be really thick and hot, and it really wasn't. That's my phone again.
Okay, I think we have to go. See ya. Bye.